Bonjour! You have passed DELF A1 and you want to focus on DELF A2, or you haven't done A1 but you just want to go straight into DELF A2. Well, this video is for you. Vous êtes prêts? C'est parti! These are the 6 levels of the Common European Framework of References for Languages, which is called CEFR. And you may remember a video which I did a while ago, which is called Evaluate Your Own Level of French. Now today we are dealing with level A2, as you can see on the ladder. Who is it for? It's for non-native French people. If you are under 18, you can actually take this exam, and it will be called Scolaire Junior. If you are over 18, then it will be for adults, and it will be called Tout Public. Now, the difference between Scolaire Junior and Tout Public really rests on the environment they will be dealing with. For example, young people will be talking about school, whereas adults will be talking about work. Where can I take this exam? You can take it at the Alliance Française in your country or any approved center. And if you are not sure where to take this exam, I would advise you to check France Éducation International's website, and they will show you all the approved examination centers outside France. Features of DELF A2. Like all the exams, they are set in the target language. They give you authentic dialogues or documents, and the boxes to tick are just like this. You're not going to put a tick, but a cross. Let's look at the A2 structure. So you will have listening comprehension for 25 minutes, reading comprehension for 30 minutes, writing for 45 minutes, and you have an oral with an examiner between 6 and 8 minutes, but with a 10-minute preparation. And the total of the time for this exam will be 1 hour and 40 minutes. And to pass, you have to ensure that you get a 50%. So here I'm just comparing A1 and A2. So for the listening, you're going to find that A2 will be a little bit longer because you'll have to listen for 5 minutes instead of 3 for A1. For the writing, just like the A1, you have 2 parts, but I remind you that for A1, you just had a basic form to fill in and write a postcard or a short message or a very short letter, and it was between 40 to 50 words. For A2 now, you still have your 2 pieces of writing, but the number of words obviously is a little bit higher, 60 to 80 words each. And what you are asked to do is a little bit more challenging because you'll have to describe an event or, your personal experiences, and probably write a message to thank someone, to invite somebody, to ask for something, to congratulate or apologize to someone. For the speaking, I remind you that for DELF A1, you had an interaction with the examiner throughout. With A2, you're going to start with a directed conversation. However, you will continue with a monologue for 2 minutes, around 2 minutes. A monologue for 2 minutes means that you will be talking on your own, and the examiner will be listening and taking some notes, and may ask you some questions at the end of your 2 minutes. And then you'll have the interactive exercise. There was a role play in A1, but it lasted 2 minutes, whereas it's 3 to 4 minutes in A2. So what are they asking you to know? You need to be able to welcome someone, to describe someone in French, to congratulate, apologize, invite, thank, buy, book, cancel tickets, ask and follow instructions, explain your likes and dislikes, which is different for A1. A1, they will ask you if you like something or what you like. So you would say, I like, j'aime le chocolat. But for A2, they would ask you why. Why do you like chocolate? Justify your opinions, which you wouldn't have to do in A1. And describe your daily activities. You're going to see that for A2, you will need to know more tenses. For example, here you need to know the past so that you can describe past events and personal experiences, and also the future. You need to be able to talk about your future plans. Organize an event, organize a meeting, for example. Prohibit someone from doing something. Carry out a bank transaction that is possible. So as you can see, there's a little bit more to be able to do now. So what tenses do you need to know? The present and continuous present, the imperative, the near future and the simple future, the immediate past. I remind you that the immediate past is je viens de plus the verb in the infinitive form. The passé composé, of course, with to have and to be. The imperfect, but for the imperfect at this level, you just need to know il y avait or c'était. And il faut que plus the subjunctive. They're not asking you to really know the subjunctive, but at least il faut que. You also need to ensure that you know your reflexive verbs, the quantity, especially with en, j'en veux, for example, comparison, indirect object pronoun with lui, so you probably know le, la, but not necessarily lui, for example. Relative pronouns such as qui and que. Connectors, and you can understand why. Mais means but, parce que, because. With A2, you need to really justify your opinions, remember? So parce que is going to be very useful to you. Here are the topics: family, physical descriptions, cafes, restaurants, shops, banks, post offices, hotels, roads, countries and cities, common animals, and of course hobbies, sports, going out, shows, holiday trips, itineraries, weather forecasts, daily activities. And it's not finished: public transportation, so subways, trains, buses, taxis, daily life, work, shopping, and you need to know about accommodations, so units in the house, interior decor, everyday objects, food ingredients, cooking, meals, recipes, meetings, evenings out, family events, outings, visits, excursions, accidents, and TV news. And also I added money and payments. I'm just going to show you some past papers now, starting with the reading comprehension. So here you can see some signs and you will get some questions on them. In the second exercise, you may get something like that, where you will have to decide which statement goes where. But I would say the most challenging exercise would be exercise 3. Exercise 3 is a proper text, as you can see. Now don't panic, because even though the text looks a little bit challenging, you will find that the questions are not so challenging, and I'm going to show you why. For example, here it says ce texte vient d'un journal, d'une brochure touristique or d'un livre. by reading this paper, you should be able to answer that question. Okay? Or you could have an ad just like this, okay, with some questions. For the listening, because I have already done something like that, I'm just going to refer you to this video, which is listening messages for DELF A2 with Jenny at your fingertips. This is a typical A2 exam, okay? For the writing, you have 2 exercises. So the first one, for example here, vous avez fait un voyage d'1 semaine à Paris. Vous racontez dans votre journal personnel ce que vous avez fait, jour après jour. Vous parlez de vos impressions sur la vie à Paris. Écrivez un texte de 60 à 80 mots. So the good thing about it is that very often they give you some pictures, so that can give you some ideas as to what to write. And also you have to remember to write about your impressions. And that's the reason why c'était is very important here. It was, c'était très beau, c'était intéressant, etc. Okay? Now the second exercise is about thanking somebody. Okay? It says, vous avez reçu cette lettre, vous répondez à Philippe. Vous le remerciez, mais vous ne pouvez pas accepter son invitation. Vous expliquez pourquoi et vous lui proposez autre chose. Et vous avez 60 à 80 mots. So you can just reuse the vocabulary which is in the letter to write your own letter. So you have to thank that person and decline his invitation. And then explain why and propose another time or another day. Okay? I would like to refer you to this video, which is about A2 speaking, which I did a while ago, which will be of interest to you if you are preparing for this exam. Now for the speaking, you remember the first part will be questions, but after that you will have a monologue suivi. So the monologue will be based on one of those topics, for example, and you'll have time to prepare. So for example, here I see number 3, quelle est votre saison préférée? What is your favorite season? Expliquez pourquoi. You see there's a lot of pourquoi. All right? And you have 2 minutes, about 2 minutes to do that. And then you have a situation. So the situation could be something like buying a train ticket for your family or accepting or declining an invitation, but it could also be something like vous organisez un anniversaire pour votre correspondant français. L'examinateur joue le rôle de votre ami. So you have to organize an event or an activity, and you have to come up, you know, to have a little discussion with your friend who is played by the examiner to see how you go about this organization. Okay? But at the end of it, you need to agree on something. I have selected some words which you must know for A2. You can't do it when you don't know them. Parce que, which is because. Il y a, there is, there are, you know that already, but il y avait is the past tense. Okay, so you need to know il y avait and or c'était, it was. Voilà, un peu, beaucoup, et, ou, alors, je peux and je dois. You need to know the difference between I can and I have to. Okay? So resources, of course, you need to take some classes, especially for the oral interaction, but you can also work on past papers and buy a book which has exercises and answers right at the back. And I'm going to show you all the books you can buy. As you can see here, there's a wide range of books, and they all do the same. I only know 2 of those, out of the whole list, but I am sure that the others are as good, because the whole point is that you need to have some exercises and then answers. And for the audios, what you're going to find is that there will be a transcription of each audio, which is going to be very, very helpful. So I hope that I have given you enough information regarding this exam, which I know you can pass if you prepare for it. So don't forget to like the video if you do think that is a good one, share it, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. Au revoir!